Before you got married, when you were courting, I'm sure that you went on dates together. Both of you would take some special time just to find a way to be together. And we know from talking to many couples over the years that some couples got very creative and very sacrificial about this. Even if they were both working long hours on their jobs, they would still try to find some ways to be together just because they enjoyed doing so. So, what we're going to be talking about in this edition of 4 Minutes to a Better Marriage is just that, the idea of spending time alone together. We're not talking about how expensive it has to be. We're not talking about how elaborate it has to be. None of that. We're just talking about finding ways to spend time alone together. When we're doing that, we need to keep something in mind. A date means this. A date means doing anything that is enjoyable. D.A.T.E. Do anything that's enjoyable. And that could be whatever you want it to be. Let me give you some ideas to think about, though, as you're thinking about this process of dating. First of all, let's talk about daily dates. We have some friends who are professional marriage and family counselors in another country, and they make it a practice every day when he comes home from work to spend about 20 or 25 minutes just sitting and talking with each other, and just to talk about their day. It's their time alone together. Now, that's how they do it. You might do it differently. You might find that at the end of the day, after the children are in bed, that you or your husband and wife can sit down together, have a cup of tea or Milo or something else, and just enjoy being together. Stuart Johnson, a family therapist, many years ago, I read an article by him, and he said that most marriages suffer from a loss of intimacy because the couples just don't do anything together that enriches their relationship. So I'm encouraging you to do that every day, a daily date of time alone together, even if it's just for a few minutes. And then you can also do other kinds of dates. You can plan a weekly date in your calendar. We know some men in the UK years ago, and they were so busy in their pastoral ministries that they actually had to plan out a time in the week to spend with their families. And they did this by putting it into their schedule, into their calendar. They put it there just as they would put any other important appointment in their life. So, like in my case, because I've lived all of my life doing pastoral ministry, I came to understand that when I wrote into my diary or typed into my calendar, uh, time with Diane, lunch with Diane, that was just as important to God as if I was putting in time with John Doe or somebody in my church. Because God wants me as a man to be as attentive to my wife as I would be to anybody else. And actually sometimes even more so, because I only have her as my one and only partner for life. So anything that you can do to spend time alone together that is enjoyable to both of you and builds your intimacy, that's what we're talking about. So here are some ideas, though, for your dates. Try to remember that when you go on a date, whether it's together in your home or you go out someplace together for a meal, try to remember that dates are phone-free zones. If I were you, I'd turn off or at least silence your smartphones because it's not very smart to leave them on and be constantly interrupted by other things. Uh, leave them off and see whether that doesn't help you to spend more of your time concentrating on each other. So dates are phone-free zones. Secondly, dates are complaint-free zones. A date is not a time for you and your husband or wife to complain to each other about all the things that are wrong. Try to make it pleasant. And the way you do that is by you being pleasant yourself. And then remember that dates are relaxation zones. This is a time for you to chill, like we used to say in America. Just, turn down the volume, turn down the speed, and just be together. That's what it's all about. Whether it's more expensive or not doesn't matter. Just be together and enjoy each other's company. Try to remember once again, why did you marry each other? And what does this person mean to you? Now, here's a little challenge for you. I'd like you to think about a date that you could design that would cost you only $5 or less. Think about that and see what you come up with. Something just for the fun of it. Something that costs you $5 or less. My wife and I used to only spend $1 on a date because that's all we had. And with that $1, we'd buy 2 ice cream cones, go and sit someplace in a park, and enjoy the moments together as if those ice cream cones cost us $100. So you can do that kind of thing. Try to design a date that costs only $5. And then try to design a date that takes you someplace out of the ordinary, someplace you don't usually go that you might enjoy seeing together. And then try to design a date without words. I know that one sounds strange, but what would happen if the two of you went for a walk in a park and you didn't talk, you just were together, enjoyably together? It might be interesting. Give it a try. And then try to design a last minute date. Think of something that you could do when you finally realize, hey, the kids are asleep and somebody's Grammy's here watching them. Let's go out and do something together, whatever that might be. So there's lots of ways to do it, and I hope that you'll use your creativity to discover some of your own. But remember this, time alone together, doing anything that's enjoyable, always makes your marriage better. This is Mike Constantine, and this is 4 Minutes to a Better Marriage. For more information on different aspects of marriage and relationships, visit my website, innerman.org. I'm sure you'll find something there that will be of help to you or perhaps someone that you care about. Thanks again for watching 4 Minutes to a Better Marriage.